Hey guys, Thomas here, and today we have a video that I honestly didn't expect to be making. This is a sort of short rundown on the newbie drone Acro-Bee V3. So what is the Acro-Bee V3? It is the successor to the Acro-Bee V2, which I actually only reviewed like a couple weeks ago. Like I said, I didn't expect to be making this video because the V3 was meant to be just an iterative update of the V2, but quite honestly, after having flown it, there is quite a few steps up that I didn't expect. It does feel noticeably different, and so I thought I'd run through what some of the differences are. I will say straight out, I'm still going to be flying the V2, and Dad will probably have the V3, or we'll swap them back and forth, whatever. They both fly really well anyway, but the V3 is a step up for sure, so I guess TLDR, if you're wondering which one to buy, go for the V3 if you can. But what I'll do now is I'll actually run through some of the differences so you know what you're getting into. So the differences between the V3 and V2 mainly come from their new developments in the flight control department. What we have is a new integrated receiver that's meant to increase range by up to 50%. Personally, I haven't found that to be an issue even on the old one with range, so I just fly in my house and I have full range with both. I guess for anyone that's flying long range with tiny whoops, or maybe trying to go into a sort of more RF heavy environment, maybe in a warehouse or something like that, maybe this will be better. But for flying within your house, it is already totally fine as it is, but apparently it's even better now, which is really cool. Another big change they've got is addressable RGB LEDs. Obviously for us normal racers, we tend to like shedding weight where possible, but in the world of tiny whoops, I mean, having that sort of fun element to play with, especially just, for the fun of your own home, it's really cool. You can just go into the Betaflight interface and change it how you want. I know with me personally, if I was to host a tiny whoop race, I would probably make LEDs a must. I think they all come with LEDs anyway, but having this means that you got more flexibility. I think it's really cool. You don't have to solder anything. It's just already there and ready for you to use. And then another change they've done, more for the flight controller for other quads, is that they've now got solder pads for the motors. What this means is that if you've got a different quad that you want to solder motors to, say you're in a little micro frame or whatever, you could still use this flight controller for that, and you don't have to use the connectors. You can just solder straight to the flight controller. Going back to the new internal receiver, you can actually still add an external receiver if you want. They've got an extra cable that you can buy that plugs into the side of the flight controller, and then that'll allow you to connect to whatever receiver you want, just like normal. Another change they've done is new motors, which I think is possibly where one of the bigger gains comes from in the performance aspect. We're going to cut to a stick cam later in the video, but one thing I found flying them back to back is just the level of control with this is significantly higher than before, pulling out of split S's and rolls, even with the same batteries for each. It just seems so much easier with the new one, and I also feel like the latency is a bit lower. Once again, can't tell if this is the camera latency or that new receiver, or if it's the motors or some combination of all three, but it's easier to control, things happen faster, which is really good, and I love it. So those are the main differences between the V3 and the V2. Ironically, having made this video now, they do sound like pretty iterative updates. However, from the experience aspect as just a user enjoying the whoop, for me it actually felt really big, right? Just having the ability to play with the LEDs, especially when you're flying the higher level of control, the sort of more freedom to do what you want within the 3D space around you, just felt really, really good. So those little changes that they've done have had a really big impact to the actual experience of the drone. But what we'll do now is we'll show you the stick cam video, and I guess you can enjoy some fun tiny whoop flying. With that, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Got it?
Got it.